Everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to play some more The Fae-King is My Roommate because the demo was extended a little while ago. And let's begin. One summer day, deep in the forest. Pants or no pants. My wage. Your body truly is a work of art. But if I may... Yes. It's only that in the art of seduction, it's advised to leave something to the imagination, at least intentionally. Pants stay on then. Real, what do he's this is our first thing now? Okay, I love him. You are most wise. I'm gonna take a guess and say our little doggo is the one talking. Trying his fly. Brayful tries to ignore the forlorn gaze. His aide throws his way until he can no longer stand it. He sighs, turning to face the quarry fully. Albert, what is this again? What is it again? My liege, you know if I wouldn't dare to question your judgment. Really? Question your judgment outside of governing matters. Oh, definitely question judgment all the time. But as your aide, the only one who was with you since infancy, the one who's watched you grow. Grotesque, interrupting the reminiscing. Albert, my liege. Albert all but whines, his little nose scrunching in distance. He finally gives in, though, cutting to the chase. A human? Is this a sensible decision? Yes, it is. Love doesn't matter what species. At the mention of the reason for his current predicament, or as one might call it, scheming, Biffle Brave feels his lips stretch in a smile that is equal parts dreamy and eager. He has every right to be eager, saying that as he worked so hard for this opportunity, harder than he had since the day of his coronation, as it would have happened. Perhaps it was unusual decoration that led to the court to issue a formal agreement to his little excursion. Now that Brive needed their permission, not that Brive needed their position, though proficient at sinking out as he is. Either way, with the leave of 6 months, Brive feels confident that his courtship will conclude on a positive note. Oh, doesn't matter. We're just gonna go with him anyway. Gonna try the bad end because the bad end got extended. He is nothing if not determined. After all, a quality he himself didn't know he possessed up until recently. My liege. ... Albert takes out one look at his liege's love-sick expression and sighs. He's totally Yandere. You're not going to change your mind. Nope. I see that spur. Nope. Brive only grins, pressing himself against the moss-covered wall. Upside down or sideways, which pose would be the most? Oh, he's already thinking, Albert, there's no help. Dramatic. Enticing, but dramatic will do as well. Albert, ever the perfect aide, gives a question to his full consideration. Upside down, with your hands away from your body. The image alone will project your hopeless enemy danger you find yourself in. Good thinking. Thank you, Albert. Always happy to serve, my liege. Plus, it might put some blood into the brain, right? Oh, I know it's upside down. The happiest, happiest though, genuine, is only momentary, and a familiar worry settles in the pit of Albert's stomach as he observes the new and strange human-like guise of his master. Is the glamour necessary, my liege? Didn't you say that your mate has already seen you old superior form? Oh, he does think us as a mate. Then why? Bryve pauses his bodily arrangement just enough to explain himself. I want to be liked as a person, not as a specimen. Though the latter is not a deal breaker either. Definitely, he's thinking of a different type of specimen. And what better way to get to know each other than on equal footing? Albert hums. The sound eventually changes from doubtful to approving. I see what you mean, my liege. I'm waiting for the but. Never letting the master wait too long, Albert obliges. But by exhausting your powers to sustain the illusion, you may leave yourself at a disadvantage. Other monsters, other fays, or other... there's our danger zone. You need to protect me. It's only for a couple months. Until the veil becomes too thick for him to traverse through the dimensions. He's forced to return. Hopefully, though, he won't be returning alone. Oh, I could see where the plot's gonna go. We're gonna end up having a good time with him. He's gonna try to take us one ending. Now come. Pour more of that pretty glistening mucus over me. I need to make a good first impression. As you wish, my liege. Later, that same day, at a solitary cottage. Choose your name. Leave the box blank. We'll default your name to Anisha. Well, we're gonna go with YN. Choose your pronouns. She, her. 2 years ago, you traded your life in a bustling village for a solitary college in the wilderness. Since then, your days have flowed in the same lazy and uninterrupted rhythm, with no humans nor roosters to roast you. You woke up from an afternoon nap to the background noise of birds, the soft rustle of leaves, and a distant cry of another poor traveler getting devoured by a mutated plant. It seems like another newcomer decided to break the 3 golden rules one needs to follow when entering the forest. Rule number 1: abstain from wearing jewelry, shiny baubles, and bright clothes. Because attract all the bad things to happen. Walk in silence. Don't eat anything you didn't grow or prepare yourself. It's like, okay. Yeah, we can do our hair now. Do that one again. Wear that one. Which I'm gonna look. Oh, I like that one now. Skin. Do that one. Okay. Your stomach rumbles at the thought of demanding a meal. Your options aren't vast. Many plants and berries, but boring menu is a small price to pay for peace of mind, freedom from gossip, and the monetary of life. Far away from people who never understand you and your research. Hey, we can research all we want in the forest. Speaking of, you could reach for a veil you carry with you. There, isn't it beautiful? Your latest breakthrough after all stained glasses that you help you peek behind the veil of the mortal realm. It's potent fungal poison capable of burning through stone. Intentionally, you were working on a simple medical tonic, but before you knew it, the white concoction was eating away at your flask, the desk, and the floor beneath. What a lucky discovery. I still like our eyes at this telling us it's like hearts, ... And their rumble coming from your gut forces you to stop your admiration and focus on less lofty goal, sating your hunger. Tomatoes and beans again. It could be worse. Maybe I should buy a chicken or two, or a goat, and a cow. Whatever, let's worry about that later. Through the wooden porch, the dirt patch beneath the pleasantly warm under your feet, you decide against venturing into your garden barefoot. Recently, you've been stepping on the weirdest things that have no place, popping up in the middle of the forest, like coins, gems, and all sorts of glimmering babbles. Your souls actually remember the sting of unidentified gem, and so the first thing you do, after scrambling up to look around for your shoes. There's my shoes. Here they are. More like slippers. Once your slippers are on, you step out into the garden to collect fresh herbs to entice your breakfast. Without entering your house, you blindly search through the open window for a container. Grab it. Salt. Salt, just in case. Without double checking, you bring with you salt shaker instead. But you only realized it when it's time to gather the herbs. Darn it. It's good. It's good that we have salt. Stuffing the salt shaker into the inner pocket of your apron, you set out to squish the herbs. They're in as well when... There's Albert. Woof, woof, woof. Strange, though travelers do bring animals with them on occasion. It's usually just mules or horses, not dogs. What's odder, the yapping, ear-piercing and alarmed resounds from a roughly close distance, seemingly just over the bridge. Given the rumors about the forest being haunted, it's definitely not a place where you'd expect to encounter company. Something must have happened for the poor sobs to veer from the beaten path and into the depths of the undergrowth. But that's none of my business. Oh, it is our business. We need to follow that doggo. For our true love. Oh, fine. I'll check out. Intending to take but a quick glance to quell your curiosity, you leave the cottage and enter the forest through the stone bridge. When you spot nothing out of the ordinary here, you throw deeper in, navigating without struggle. After all, you know these woods like the back of your hand, and with your glasses made of enchanted crystals, you're able to see more than your average human. I just love our glasses, though. As the terrain changes, it becomes harder and harder to walk with only your slippers on. It's not long until you're tripping on weirwood roots stretching further beneath the ground than you can see or feel. Okay, Albert, we're coming. A bundle of light brown fur shoots out of the bushes like a rocket, accompanied by a panicked yapping. A dog? Unceremoniously, the dog barrels into your legs, pouncing backwards, and then plopping onto the bottom from the collision. It doesn't get up right. It doesn't get up right away, staring at you with round black eyes as if assessing you. Before you can move or say anything, the dog decides that you're not a threat. Hopping back onto the feet, it starts growling at the hem of your clothes in an attempt to pull you with it. Whoa, hey! Caught off guard by the yank, you're propelled forward to forcefully that you almost lose the slippers in the process. Okay, we have to follow Albert. When did the small puppies get so strong? When they're not really from this plane. You thought they only yapped the loudest. It doesn't mean anything. I've seen videos of a cat literally pounce on a dog. I think it was a pit bull too, and it was a small, like a normal sized cat, not like a Maine Coon, and it pounced and beat the dog up because it was going to attack its human. Hey, I'll follow him. Just stop slobbering all over my clothes. So complacent, the dog unclenches its jaws, letting the wet and crumpled fabric slip out of its mouth. Now I have to do the laundry. Impatient, the dog snarls at you, as if saying, hurry up. Fine, lead the way. With another agitated bark, the dog jolts ahead of you, looking back every few hops to make sure you're following. Because if we don't, it's gonna come back and start trying to make us fall. Or drag us there. Eventually you you're led towards a cave. Very same cave that you tend to use as a dumping ground for your failed experiments. Uh-oh. It's our fault. Actually, it's not his fault because he did it intentionally, but... As suspected, the dog dashes inside, pausing by a humorous mutated Venice flytrap. Yeah, there he is. Take a little mouse. There's a man hanging upside down. He doesn't look very alarmed to be stuck and paralyzed by the sticky fluids. If anything, he seems almost bored, humming a jaunting tune under his breath. Guess he's been waiting for us. Am I interrupting? Oh. The man's expression doesn't change much. He's still blinking steadily, face relaxed, but his voice takes on a pleading quality when he greets you. Hello there, my savior. I haven't saved you yet, but you will, won't you? Yeah. Furious by your lack of action, the dog starts to yip at you increasingly. It looks ready to jump at you again, as if your clothes weren't sobbered over enough. Oh, fine, stop yapping. Well, since the mutation of the flytrap is practically your fault, you might as well help out. Quiet, I'm thinking. But the flytrap might be hypervised, but it's still just a plant. You could try to crush it, but you lack the size or strength for it. Burning it would work too, but you didn't bring enough findable material with you. And plus it might burn our love interest. How about... I'm gonna soak in poison. It's a huge sacrifice on your part, but it's not as though any other option is a viable one. As you uncork the veil, you shoo the dog away from the plant. Alright, pup. Get out of the way unless you want me to melt your fur. As though understanding each word, the animal slowly backtracks, eyeing your hands with suspicion. As opponent scent that wafles out of the veil. Both the pet and its owner scrunch their noses. That reminds you. Try not to breathe in. Why? Well, it's definitely potent. I'd definitely be having asthma attack with it, probably. The poison could be harmful to human organisms. And you... a human organism. And you look a bit frail. A strange noise escapes the man's throat. One that you can't engage. He doesn't remain silent. He does remain silent, however, and you take it as your cue to act. Like, be careful. All right, here we go. The poison works instantaneously. As soon as you pour it over the roots, the heads begin to little slumping downwards, one by one, with their mouths open wide. Hey, it worked. The man tumbles to the ground with them, landing on a soft patch of moss. Oof. Are you alright? Yes, thank you very much, my valiant... Great, now that the issue is all sorted out, I'll be going. Oh, hold on. Scrambling upwards with the speed and agility unfit for someone who just recently paralyzed. The man grabs your apron in an attempt to stall you. Yes. The man's mouth opens and closes, but nothing intangible. When we use the confines, his eyes dart from side to side, then up and down, as though only now noticing his state of partial undress. After another moment of watching him fumble around, you start to suspect that he's simply embarrassed. After all, aren't most people sensitive to nudity? I don't think he is. Definitely don't think he is. Cue the first part. Here, put it on. Untying your apron, you let him take it, since he's already been holding it in his fist. Oh, there's our summer child. That apron looks fabulous on him. All jokes aside, I do like the apron. He blinks, then slowly starts to put it on. It's like I don't need it. Thank you. Well, if that's all. Before you go, I'd like to repay your kindness. No need. I assist. If not for you, don't know what would have happened to me. The plant would require days, if not weeks, to fully adjust him, and before that, someone would surely find him. Or not. You would have been fine. Still, where I'm from, we're taught to never let a good deed go unrewarded. Plus, he wants to kidnap us. And where I'm from, it's said that once you pay for something, it's no longer a favor, but a transaction. It's like, what? Woof, 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 woof. Oh, that's right. What's right? How about dinner? I'll show you my appreciation. If on cue, your stomach rumbles, the man smiles knowingly. Hungry? Somewhat. Lucky for us, there's an inn just nearby that serves the most delicious desserts. It would be my pleasure to let you taste each and every one of them. An inn in the middle of the forest? Unless they managed to build one. Here between yesterday's foraging and today's waste dump. He must have hallucinated it. We'll take him up on the offer still. Oh, could it be the side effect of the mucus? It's interesting. How did you get caught in the Venus flytrap, by the way? Totally didn't put myself right there so I could see ya. Even as large as it is, you have to have stooped there quite some time for it to produce enough liquid to coat all of you. Oh, he had time. Definitely had time. You could say that. I wasn't thinking clearly. Were you drunk? I was drinking prior to that, yes. It's like, no, he wasn't. This is all his plan the entire time. That's plain it. Most people would know better than to walk into a giant meat-eating plant. If they do run, it's always from it, not straight into its maws. He's just built different. As in, he's not human. Just how drunk was he to take a nap in the cave out of all places? Then again, he was seeing worse back in the village. Far worse. About the inn of yours. Are you sure it's actually nearby? Given his his predicament, he could have walked miles only to come to his senses. Here, mistakenly thinking it was only a short time had passed. I'm sure it's on the other side of the cave. Now, that can be true. You've been in and out of here countless times throughout the year. If there was any building around the area, you would have seen it at least once. Tell me, how many fingers can you see? I'm not drunk. Then I did on purpose. Come with me. Or, it seems and acts pretty sober, if a bit awkward. When you lean closer, you don't smell anything on him, just a hint of floral scent. I do feel a bit faint. The man chuckles, breathlessly, at the sudden closeness, cheeks strained red. Is he simply shy, or under his influence? Under influence. He's not any of it. Something is clearly wrong with you. Because he's not human. And he's Yandere. Adorable Yandere faking. If there was something wrong with me, it would be impudent of you to let me wander off unattended, would it? There's our dog. Shh, you don't count. You know what? You know that's not what I mean. He conversed with the dog, and on the cutesy way. He seems to think the dog is answering him. He must be ill. Or he's actually communicating with the dog. It's not mucus. If not the mucus, it could have been a concussion. Either way, if you leave him alone, you might just find him under a bridge next time you see him. But you observe him from up close. Something stirs in your memory. This is happening in the past. It happened a couple of months ago, shortly after you refurbished your glasses with the gemstones you found in the garden. They were flat and unusual, and as you were looking through them, you realized they were showing the world slightly altered compared to what you were used to seeing. And it didn't simply mean the muddy color. Aside from the pathways you never noticed before, you discovered a mirage, a myriad of plants and animals that you were only able to discern from the glass. Most notably, all kinds of small humanoid creatures, as well as circles of red and mushrooms emanating a strange milky aura. It was during one of your regular foraging runs they encountered an oddity, half person, half butterfly, or what you thought. Our fae. He never came close, merely watched you from afar, just as you were him. Day after day, you catch a glimpse of him through the dense trees until he became your constant. At some point, he transformed from idle curiosity into a session of sorts. Well, we became his session too. Not unlike a zealous collector, you found yourself wanting to catch him and pin him to a board so that you could study him thoroughly. Oh, he was a catcher's too. At first it was his kin that interested you, the ethereal, elusive beings with insect-like wings and gemstone eyes. living so close to you yet so far, just behind the veil, but having glimpsed others, you slowly realized that you cared more about this particular specimen rather than the group as a whole. Everyone else paled in comparison to him. Their eyes were appealing enough, their wings too plain and unimpressive, their countless continents especially. Their countesses especially were too far boisterous and frankly annoying, similar to the villagers you have escaped from. Your specimen wasn't like the others. Yeah, because it was a king. Playful but not merciful. Not mean. He never played any pranks on you like some of his brethren did when they spotted you. Not that happened often. After a while, he was the only creature of his kind you encountered. Probably because he pushed them all away. And you were more than pleased with that. Though, outwardly, compared to composed, he had a habit of getting lost in his thoughts, so the point of forgetting all about his surroundings. It was truly an experience of composure not to burst out laughing every time he almost walked headfirst into a shrub. And when he slung himself too hard a tree branch and ended up with a mouthful of leaves that he didn't spat out, shaking himself off as if nothing was amiss. The more time you spent around him, the less of a test subject and more of a person he became, a person you wanted to interact with, not simply watch. Oh, now we can. And perhaps it was what compelled you to finally break your silent status quo. One day, when you saw him resting on the railing near which you were foraging herbs, you decided to approach him. Excuse me. Like, you can see me? When you meet his gaze straight on, he's visibly startles, almost falling onto the water below. You didn't let his fondling deter you, though your distance was short tested. It had the shortest it had been. You wanted to get even closer. One step, then another. As you paused, shy of touching him, the strange stupor that seized him seemed to go away just enough for him to mutter out a single question. You could see me? Yes. It was hard to answer. At the last moment, you recalled the proverb, starting to actions speak more than words. With that in mind, you reach out to touch him. His body, still but yielding under your palms, was covered in flowers and vines. Despite the visual difference, it felt exactly like that of a human. Your discovery was as surprising as it was thrilling, simply for the both of you. With the hand of his chest, you could feel his quickened heartbeat like a fluttering of wings. Then, poof, he was gone. And that was the last you seen of him, or so you thought. Yeah, this is happening now, because we have him now. Him? What was that? As I was saying, a patient would be kept under careful observation. Shouldn't he? At least his condition worsens? Correct. Then how about killing two birds with one stone? If you come with me to the inn, I'll pay you with a meal, and you'll make sure I'm not passed out in a ditch somewhere. How does that sound? Okay, this time I'm gonna first go with sounds like a bad idea. Sounds like a bad idea. But why? There were so many things you could say to that, but you opt for simply shaking your head. Then let me repay you in their way. Oh? By biting our house husband. With my body. What? Physical labor? Why not? The cottage could use some deep cleaning. Sure, that works. Agitated, the puppy climbs on its master like a vine, sitting on top of his head. Quiet, Albert. I know what I'm doing. Yes, I'm sure. Where were we? Ah, yes. I can cook and clean. I can. Totally. At least in theory. I've never done it before. You seem like the busy sort. Oh, my dear savior, surely could use someone for such a mundane but time-consuming task. He's not wrong. It could be great to delegate all the housework to another while you tend to your research. He seems like house husband material. You're only suggesting, but if he's serious, then who are you to deny him? Fine, but you get a trial period of a single meal. Perfect. You won't regret it, I assure you. Thank you. Always so supportive of me, Albert. Sometimes he argues with you. So your dog's name is Albert, huh? What's yours? The man's mouth opens, then closes from his reaction alone. One would think if you ask him for a response for a complex mathematical puzzle. Which deck we have? To him at least. You do have a name, right? Of course I do. And it's B. I know, Albert. Quiet now. M? My name's, B. B? B. Oh, for you. You don't have the tired day to stand here and listen to his he learns the alphabet. You have research to do, not mention a meal to eat. Okay, I wouldn't be that mean to him because I have a speech impediment, so... I'll call you Bob. Bob purses his lips, then slowly nods. Great, now that we're all acquainted, let's go. Not wanting to dally, and let you change your mind, Bob nods in agreement, rushing to grab your hands. He recalls immediately after as if just remembering the mucus that still clings to his skin. Sorry about that. It's fine, we both need a bath once we return. Oh, is your tub big enough for two? Get your mind out of the gutter, Bob. Get your mind out of the gutter. Yes, you and your Corey will fit in perfectly. Is that what he was thinking? Stifling a laugh at his dejected expression, you gestured for him to follow you out of the cave. But as you walk, he quickly goes from following to leading, heading towards your college with more confidence than benefits someone supposedly lost. Because he knows where you live. How do you know where to go? It's only college house here. That's true. He shoulders relax, and you let him enjoy the deceptive sense of relief for a few moments before you start teasing him again. You look familiar. Do I? What's so funny? Nothing, it's just, Are you nervous? Oh, look, a bridge. As you watch Bob scramble away from you and the conversation, you find yourself feeling more amused than you've been in years. Because we finally have our faking. The so rarely used mucus. The so rarely used muscles around your mouth and eyes feel the brief stain of a fleeting smile. Once you reach the cottage house, you amuse yourself by watching Bob pretend that he's seeing the surroundings for the first time. We know. Though you never actually spot him in the cottage. The guess he's been leaving for you to speak for themselves. Is this where we're going to live? That depends on your cooking skills. I don't want our Yandere can't cook. Right, haha. Despite the smile he puts on, you can hear him swallow audibly. Cooking is familiar to alchemy, is it? Is that a is that reef reef are you sure? Because I never heard of alchemy. Like I'm trying to stutter. Like I know the word, but brain fart how to pronounce it. Come on, let's see what you could do. Ooh, this is our house now. I think this is where it ended last time. Bob enters your humble abode, with a distant air of curiosity, taking in the wooden interior, the cabinets, and the dining table that you rarely use for its intended purpose. His dog, on the other hand, trots directly into the fireplace, where he sits himself on the carpet, then promptly falls asleep. He's like, I'm tired. I stayed up with him all night making this plan. Make himself right at home, I can see. Your house is lovely, so I can hardly blame him. Flatter. You know very well that your cottage is far from grand, but you care little for impressing your guests and potential helpers, for that matter. Bob does seem sincere, though. His eyes gleam as he peeks at your journal and other personal belongings you left lying around haphazardly. The kitchen area is here. Where you point at the fireplace, Bob shifts his attention to that direction. Very cozy. His tone is no less appreciative than before, but his expression turns rather bleak. You know how to use pots and pans, right? You mean these? No. He takes a pan from the rack and holds it like one would draw a sword. Not a kitchen appliance. You sure? The answer is no. Oh, I knew. He's gonna have that as a weapon. He's gonna hit people with a frying pan. I'm ready when you are. Maybe I should. No, I got this. Starts being alone up with a frying pan. Okay, just want to find out. Alright, go for it. Alright, go for it. The grants are here, somewhere. It's like, collect items. Okay, what should I make? Definitely not this. Bread, milk. Bread, I know this one. Vegetable smelling liquid. In a milk bottle? Okay, probably that. Cucumbers, obviously. Dried leaves. Pretty in this glistening purple vegetable. That's eggplant. Mushroom from a summing circle I made myself. Okay, let's see. Sad looking whittling leaf. Apple. What is that? A bag of white powder. Doesn't have a scent or taste. A mushroom from a summing circle I made myself. Okay, we have to collect everything. Vegetable smelling liquid. In a milk bottle. Green soup. I think I found all I need. Should I begin? Oh, you're definitely gonna be worse than Peter. Alright, show me what you got. For my first ingredient, I pick A loaf of bread. Vegetable broth. Leftover lettuce. Oh no, I'm gonna... Leftover lettuce. Now we'll add cucumber. And to finish off, I'll take eggplant. And the result is a simple vegetable salad in dire need of dressing. Ta-da! Not bad. It's like, yeah, because I was the one who okay, that would be the best choice. I wonder what would happen if I chose all the bad ingredients. It looks and smells edible, and that's for sure. He certainly did a lot better than you would have expected, given his previous clumsiness. His first reaction, too, is quite sigh of relief that he disguised as a cough when he feels your eyes on him. You see, I told you I could do it. He boasts through the grin, leaning back on the counter. So not fret, and just leave it to me, the cooking and cleaning, all the boring chores. I'll take care of everything while you, I don't know, focus on your work. You've been lying to yourself that the process isn't compelling. Still not wanting to accept too eagerly. You make a show of analyzing the dish, making it seem as if you're weighing the decision with great consideration. Sure, you could start today. Marvelous. It's like, yes, we got plans back in action. Bob's booming exclamation stirs Albert, who jumps to his paws before his eyes can even fully open. When he knows that's nothing is amiss, he pops himself right back on the carpet with a huff. What a loyal guard you have. Ah, yes. After seeing his puppy a half glance, Bob reaches out for you too. You soon give him a handshake, or that he doesn't release you once your hand ends up his. Only that he doesn't release you once your hand ends up in his. You won't regret it, I swear. I'm sorry, I have to make it a little more creepy. Whether you will or not, this is yet to be determined. For now, however, ceasing the victorious howling in your empty stomach is more pressing concern. Come on, let's eat. I'll show you the bedroom later. Sure, choking on what seemed to be pure air, Bob gasped at you with wide eyes and rapidly reddening cheeks. What? What? I'm showing your bedroom. I mean, I'm not saying no. Just let me freshen up first, and we can... Bob, read the room. Quite you. Bob hisses in the direction of his pet without taking his gaze off you. You could sleep outside tonight. That won't be necessary. I rarely use the bedroom, so you can have it for yourselves. No, I tend to sleep in my laboratory anyway, so my bunk bed was already gathering dust. Haha. Bob's nervous laughter is slowly growling on you. It's hard not to tease him, knowing this is how he reacts. A part of you wonders what other noises you can pull out of him, but you quickly stop with the stir of thought. You won't want to scare your new aide off. Now, would you? No. 3 months later. Living with not only one roommate, but technically two, isn't as taxing as you feared. On the contrary, with Bob and his magic taking care of the house, you can pour yourself into your research fully without having to worry about the boring and mundane task that used to take up most of your precious time. The once quiet abode is now filled with sounds of becoming not only familiar, but also strangely comforting. Come on, Bobby, you're trying to woo us. The pitter-patter of Albert's paws on the creaking floor as he catches stray insects that sink into the house, or Bob's off-key humming merge with the clicking and clacking of dishes. And add tomatoes. Yes, Bob, you're simply the best. Stirring the quiet murmuring, reaching through the wooden wall, is something out of normal for you. Okay, I love the backgrounds. This is his bedroom, huh? You see, the same can be said about the delicious smell that wafles in the air, wondering you could be awake and most definitely hungry. You're in Bob's room. You must have fallen asleep mid-conversation. You didn't even feel him carry you to bed. I'm surprised he didn't just kidnap us. Taking use of the adjoined bathroom, you quickly wash yourself and dress. Outfit. Oh, I can change outfits. I like this one. After putting on fresh clothes, you let the scent of food lead you into the living room. Despite what you said to Bob on his first day here, since he starts living with you, you two have been spending more time in the house as opposed to your laboratory. Well, because he's rubbing off on us. You lost count of the nights you slept in the bunk bed as well, sharing your research and theories with Bob until you drifted off the bunk bed or the dining table. Last night, it was later. Oh, we can dress him too! He could get his hair cut now? We're gonna show him he's not human. Okay, I like that one. Kinda wanna show that he's a fae. Even I'd love the long hair. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. When you enter the threshold, you find Bob in the outfit you picked for him the night before, levitating the food out of the pan and onto the plates. He's like, so when did he finally tell us that he was not human? You wait until he's done before you announce yourself, and still his first reaction is startled, uneasy laughter at the prospect of being caught. Good morning. Morning. Did you see how high I flipped the pancakes? I wasn't looking, sorry. Oh, that's good, we already could tell you're might not be human with your ears. Is the food ready? I have a new theory about the specimen 4773. So I'll be staying in the laboratory until tomorrow to test it out. Nodding along, Bob finishes setting the table and serving the food, gesturing at you to take a seat. Who or what is the specimen 473, huh? 473 is this mysterious crystal you found in the stream. That one. After another burst of his telltale chuckling, Bob changes the subject as he busies himself with the spatula, hurrying and transferring the food over from the pan to the plate. I'm trying out a new recipe today, using the flour we borrowed with our neighbors. We have neighbors now? The village isn't that far from here, but if you were to haphazard guess. The neighbor's Bob is referring to is probably closer to his species than yours. Either way, you're just happy to eat something outside your usual fare. Sounds good. I rather like your culinary experiments, especially if they taste good. You like experiments, period. Can't argue with that. The same can't be said about your puppy. Last time he sneaked into my lab, we couldn't get the snoot off him for a week straight. Bob visibly cringes, most likely remembering all the yipping and yapping he had to listen to as you were giving his puppy vinegar baths. Speaking of, where is he? Used to think Albert as Bob's second shadow, but lately, he's been absent from the cottage more often than not. Oh, you know, Bob glares at the door before reforcing his gaze on the food. With his attention, for once, stolen away from you, it's your turn to hold him under close scrutiny. Most of the time, you can almost believe he's human. Aside from the new disguise, his behaviors is not unlike yours. Maybe it's a bit more dignified with the way his spine never seems to bend out of shape. Head always held high. With the limited knowledge that you had of his kin, he had a hard time distinguishing what was the norm for them and what is uniquely him. Well, we know him more than his kin, so... But the more you watch him, the more you wonder why he decided to leave his brethren to be with us. It can't be for the same reason you did yours, as he seems to enjoy his supply runs and chatting with the traveling merchants. Was he prosecuted or chased off? If you didn't decide to play along with his ruse, you might have been able to ask him about it outright, alas. Oh, we will. We'll do bad end. Or bad in air quotes. You're making me blush. What did you say? I said you're making me blush. Look at me like this. Bob mumbles, without looking back. Like what? Like I'm a rare specimen of butterfly you want to pin to a board. Well, he knows our looks very well. As he says that, his sorry pink cheeks darken with a fiery red shade. If I did that, I think Albert would have swallowed me whole. He's very protective of you, isn't he? Albert just... There he is. As if summoned, Albert jumps into the room through the open window, immediately running to his master to nuzzle his leg. Oh, look, there he is. You can ask him where he was if you're so inclined. Very funny. Contrary to Bob, he didn't speak dog yet. You don't speak dog yet. Yet. Is the key word yet. Oh, I know that look. Resting his chin on the back of his head, Bob sends you an expression that's equally parts fawn and exasperated. Does that mean I won't be seeing you for an entire week again? Depends on how quickly I figure out what I need to figure out. Oh, I hate when you do that, cutting yourself off mid-sentence. You know that, though you're not sure if it's out of unsatisfied curiosity or envy. Compared to you, he seems to have composed composure that doesn't let him lie, at least not fully. It makes teasing him much more fun. At least promise me you show up for lunch, else I'll have to send Albert your way. And Albert's strong. If you do, I can't guarantee that his fur will come out of the visit unscathed. It's like, what? Shh, you poor thing. I'll try my best not to damage you. And what about me? I too was covered in that exact same gunk, and yet you only offered your sympathy to him. And he's your mate. What? You got lions washing you with her own two hands. What's there to complain about? Albert sniffles snorts. It sounds like a rather sex brand. Yes, that's your dream. Not all dogs enjoy baths. At least that's what I heard. Well, I'm for one enjoy them quite a bit. Are you a dog? Just wants us to wash them though. Do you prefer dogs to men? Depends. Not now, Albert. I'm having an important discussion. Ah, nonsense. Go take a nap by the fireplace or what have you. The mist. Albert does just that, and within seconds it's quiet. Even snoring reaches your ears. You and Bob return your meal, eating for a while in silence before Bob breaks it with his usual small talk. Last night you said you had a theory about your specimen. 473? 47373. And yes, it's definitely magic in it. At the mention of magic, something that should be unknown to a regular human such as yourself, Bob freezes mid-bite. Oh, magic? Huh. How did you figure? Is it because of the other crystals you studied? No, we're just having a gut feeling. How do you know I studied other crystals? Oh, you didn't seem surprised when I brought you the new ones, so... I see. Because he's been stalking us. Yes, Find your grin. Hiding your grin behind the cup, you finish your drink and rest of the food on your plate before getting off your seat. Thank you for the meal. It was my pleasure. Abandoning his unfinished meal, Bob jumps to his feet to see you out. If there's anything else I could help you with, just let me know. Oh, anything? I thought you only do chores. Well, I did promise you my body, didn't I? In all capacity. Bob, behave. Get a squirt bottle with your name on it. I'm thinking, your eyes glide down his body before you catch yourself in the act. The only thing you're already not doing is helping me with my research. It's not the only thing, but alright. Is it? Oh no, he has our plans in mind. Open your hand. You start to list out the various tasks he took over with your fingers. You cook, clean, garden, do the laundry. What else is there to do? I'll leave that up to you. I have endless uses after all. We'll see. Why decide? If I decide. If I remember. When you will decide. Bob grins cheekily at you, watching you shake your head as you turn to leave. Bob leaving to clean up after a meal, you exit the house and head to the stables. Turn to laboratory. You have two tasks. Test the crystal specimen 47373 on the plants and see what it does when digested, and to draft a plan for a cosmic mind-reading potion that will let you, if not speak, to then at least understand Albert or animals in general. Oh, that's our yet. For that, you need a mind enchanting tonic you brewed last winter. Dried fennel for boost and... Ah, shoot, since you ran out of space in the lab, you'll take into drying your herbs by the fireplace. You're still not used to the change. It seems it made you sloppy and forgetful. With a sigh, you drag your feet back in the house, but before you can re-enter through the threshold, the unnaturally serious tone in Bob's voice roots you in the spot. I know, Albert. You don't have to remind me that about the deal every waking hour. I already told you I'm working on it, didn't I? A deal? What's he talking about? You didn't make a deal with a demon. I still have a month. I just thought Ryan would. Never mind. I don't want to rush it. Bob trails off. When you peek through the cracks of the wood, you see him, seated with his head in his hands. You don't have to insult me first thing in the morning like that, Albert. Hopping in the warm, Albert sprints from one end of the room all the way to the dining table to climb onto Albert's lap. I mean his head? I was kidding. I know you don't actually mean it that way. No, you're right. It's unbecoming of me to bumble about and play house. A deal is a deal. After all, I should be doing more. The deal again. You don't want to jump to collisions, but does it seem as though he means the deal you and he have? It's only because you never stayed a time limit on it. Perhaps you were wrong about him and that he wasn't chased out by his kin, but instead came here of his own volition. But for what reason? Is he here to study you like you wanted to study him? Oh, no. Other plans in mind. Until that's... Well, technically it's highly suspicious, but none of my business. Whatever deal means, you don't believe that he's trying to harm you. He never gave you a reason to suspect him of ill intent, either now or in the past. I mean, get us kidnapped, but we'll be fine. At the moment, you realize how little you actually know about Bob. Despite living with him for 3 months already, you spent spring engaging in nothing but idle chatter. Maybe it's time to end your charade and start anew with a blank slate. Retreating before you can be spotted, you forgo your herbs and lock yourself in the lab. You have a lot to think about before you decide on how to proceed. But his point of view, wine leaves, but Bryce remains by the window long after he disappears from the view. Watching her retreat back invently reminds him of times when admiring her from afar was all he was allowed to do. As bendable as the Fae laws are, there's only so much he can do before he causes them in himself to break. Oh, Wyan. In more ways than one, Bryce got closer to Wyan than he could have ever hoped, and yet, as days pass, it feels as though they're distant as ever, if not more, now with the weight of his secret lodge between them. Albert awoke from his nap a while ago. Bryce is aware. You could feel his small, beady eyes drilling into the back of his for several minutes now. Bryce continues to fake innocence, but I found out soon enough. My liege, I don't mind being imperent. But I would be at fault if I didn't mention the passage of time. Squeezing his eyes shut as if hoping to escape reality. For just a moment longer, Bryce lets out a drawn-out sigh through his nose. It's hard to forget everything with you by my side. Oh, thank you, my liege. I simply live to serve. The little wagging of the tail. I mean, tails wags all the time, but I just picture it just wagging non-stop when he says that. That wasn't a, have it your way. Throwing in the proverbial towel, Bryce wanders back to the table, but finds himself with no appetite. His mood, that merely minutes ago was blissful, radiant, is now steadily deteriorating. Mindful of that, Albert tries to make his tone as smoothing as possible, as to soften the blow he forced to deliver. The courtiers I spoke earlier today. I don't care. Not that I ever did. But these days, Bryce cares even less about the petty scruples and pointless mischiefs of his kin. What's more, it came to be that the entire realm would spontaneously combust without him there. Then, well, all the better. Perhaps that way he would be free of the curse that flows his purple blue blood, the eternal solitude that comes with his title. And plus, he could stay with his love interest. I'm on vacation now, am I not? The court is mindful of their terms and agreement. However, they express concerns about your upholding yours. I already delivered on my promises before I set out. But finishing your task wasn't the only condition you made when the deal was set. Like Bryce could ever forget. I know, Albert. You don't have to remind me about the deal every waking hour. If Faye could dream, Bryce is sure he would hear Albert's nagging during the night as well. I already told you I'm working on it, didn't I? Are you working on biding your time? I still have a month. 2 seasons with Bryce agreeing to the bargain. He wasn't aware of how short the months passed by in human realm. In a blink of an eye, spring has ended, and the summer has come, and nothing has changed since between him and YN. I just thought YN would. Bryce used to be sure that their attraction was mutual. He saw and collected each and every interesting glance thrown his way. He just never considered that it might not be him who caught YN's fancy, but his kind as whole. Oh, you caught her fancy. Never mind, I don't want to rush it. As if you had done anything but rush into things ever since they put the crown on your head. It's like, oh, he just wants us. That's why he's impulsive. You don't have to insult me first thing in the morning like that, Albert. What, my liege? I certainly didn't mean to. Oh, you did. I'm just kidding. I was kidding. I know you didn't actually mean it in that way. Give me your poor servant a heart. Your poor servant a heart attack. Why don't you? But I suppose you know what's best. For now, you could. No, you're right. It's unbecoming of me to bumble about and play house. Even if there's nothing else he'd rather do, he's bound by his word. A deal is a deal, after all. I should be doing more. My poor liege. Albert's whine is the softest thing, and Bryce knows that his aide shares his pain if he doesn't understand its original personality. Don't worry about me. Hiding his face in his palms, Bryce takes a moment to compose himself, and when he finally rests his head, his expression is free of pain, any weakness. I'm fine. I always am, aren't I? Donning his usual grin, Bryce rests his chin on the back of his hand, make his voice petuous and desertive, voice as though it was back in court. Now, Albert, tell me what those old fools want from me. Did someone burn another estate? Did a fae fall into a well? Albert doesn't play along, not this time. You're in a state, my liege, and they can feel it. Precious state? Brave snorts, disgusted and angered at the gall of his quarters. You are in love, my liege. And they know it. That's why they keep on pushing conditions that you won't otherwise agree to. Bryce knows the deal itself was a farce, and had he been in a clear state of mind, he would have never agreed to a single term. It's in our blood to be drawn by power, to take advantage of a sign of weakness. But you're the king, my liege. But he's in vain love. What can he do about it, really? Pardon the question, but if you're truly serious about the human of yours, why not simply kidnap her? Well, I didn't. It was gonna happen. And bad and Brive laughs, but it's weak, tired sound. I want her to come with me, to choose me. And now, even more so, Albert, I want to mate. I want a mate, a lover, not a bird in a cage. Though you know that my cage is large enough for fit two. My liege. Oh, he just wants us to be his lover. Besides, are you saying I'm undeniable that I should retort to a dungeon and confinement? Well, might happen the bad end. On the contrary, my liege, being abducted by you would be anyone's greatest luck and honor. Definitely happy to say that. Oh, you flatter. Feeling uplifted, though not entirely optimistic, Brive sets aside his worries for the time being. He still has a month, he reminds himself, and if nothing else, he'll endear to enjoy Ryan's company for however long or short it will last. Do you feel a little better now, my liege? Unable to bear saddening his master further, Albert drops the previous topic with an attempt to excuse himself and let Brave rest. Yes, thank you. Then I will leave you to your play. Truly, who would have known you enjoyed sleeping so much? Not me, that's for certain. Now I can see her butt. Are you complaining? Not at all, my liege. Please enjoy yourself. After bopping his head in imitation of a bow, Albert retreats into the adjoined room to sleep. His snoring is light but audible, even though through the wooden wall. Oh, Albie, what would I do without you? Alone and without the audience, Brive lets out a smile. His smile for good. Time is indeed pressing. His body feels acutely. The longer he remains in the human world, the weaker his power is, and just recently he was able to do multiple chores at once with his abilities, but now he can only perform one at a time. His gaze falls down, towers towards his clenching fist. He relaxes them without difficulty, feeling the lingering ache in his joints. Perhaps he could try wooing Ryan directly using human courtship rituals. But they're all pointless if Ryan stirs herself in her lab. Flustered, Brive throws himself in the daily task with abandon caution, accomplishing most of them by hand for a good measure. When he moves to the window to hang the wet rags over it to dry, he notices a movement outside in the bushes in front of the cottage. A glimpse of the orange wig of a messenger from the court through the window, barreling through the trees in a hurry, like a bear of bad news. Crap. Maybe if he drops human disguise and puts up a cloaking glamour instead. My liege. It's less of a blink. The messenger materializes in the middle of the room, bright behind Brive. Their voice is cold and even as death itself. You know I hate it when you do that. Bear of bad news. My apologies. They don't seem that apologetic to Brive. Then again, half of their face is covered by a veil. If you weren't aware, there's a perfectly good door. Didn't you always say that a door is all but decoration, my liege? Not now. This is my house now. You used to say that. True. That's irrelevant. Of course. Now what brings you here? I have come bearing bad news. Bad news? Pardon? Never mind. Proceed. Summoning a hefty scrawl, the messenger clears their throat and begins to recite the contents. My liege, please accept our dearest apologies for the breach in the contract, and design us with your... no, I don't have all day. Summarize whatever it is that the court needs from me for them to send you here personally. In 2 sentences or fewer, if you please. At once, my liege. There goes your first sentence. As the court it has observed, the veil around our realm has become dangerously clear, resulting in the capture of a wandering caravan that has entered our premises earlier this morning. Uh-oh. And we are concerned, my liege. The veil should be... It's still summer. It will naturally get thicker when the season passes. The messenger doesn't dare to argue. They bow dimly, keeping their hands folded before them in the gesture gesture. What should we do with the humans? Remove their memories and let them go. As you wish. It's like, just let them go. The messenger bows again, but doesn't immediately depart. Brife skulls. What is it? The testament of their professionalism. They do not give any signs of nervousness or apprehension. The council, that is, those who do not know about the deal, they are beginning to speak more and more boldly about you shirking your duty. So what? Haven't I always done that? Ever since Brife, entire bloodline was eradicated, and the council had no other choice but to use him as a power source. Brife never bothered to pretend that he was anything other than unwilling. As for the rumors, let me talk. That's all they have mounted to anyway. As much as they despise Brife, they need him, not the other way around. That's why all his mischief, all his wants are fulfilled. It's their best interest to keep him as close to content as possible, unless they want to see the realm fall into ruin. And if he doesn't get us, he will. Is that all? I'm afraid not, my liege. You see, your prolonged disappearance brewed unrest and fear among your subjects. They're unruly, even more than usual, causing all manner of troubles in and outside the realm. Which is why you need to come back to the court, however briefly, so you can be granted your free wisdom. You mean common sense? My liege had said it, not I. It's like, okay, you totally have common sense, I'm staying. No, never mind. Tell them I'm not going anywhere, and I don't care. As you wish, my liege. With deep parting bow, the messenger leaves the cottage the same way they entered it. Give me a break. Brife sags against the wall, closing his eyes. To be continued. Now for the bad end. Sounds, good, I guess. Sounds good, I guess. Marvelous. Grabbing you by the hand, he all but drags you out of the cave, hurling as though expecting you to change your mind any second now. His little dog trails after you, for once perfectly quiet. Because he's like, yes, we don't have to go for a 3 months period. She's coming with us now. In his haste, he almost face plants into this, and now only your timely assistance steers him out of the harm's way. You're so clumsy. I'm usually not. That's not why I recall. What? It's like, we know you are. Nothing. Oh, alright. Alright. Are we going or... yes, let's go. It's like... Out of the forest, he takes you to the clearing. Nothing but a crumbling pavilion, raised in the middle of the flower field. Is this your tiny experience? Thanks to your enchanted glasses, however, you could see the clear as day the circle of mushrooms around the entrance of another realm. Oh, we had one of those mushrooms in the cottage. As she point gaze, the man clears his throat. The inn really is nearby. We just need to, go for this. Tear for the veil, huh? Seems the legends you heard about the forest are not far from the truth. Yes? There's this, weird portal we have to go through. Teleportation device. Teleportation device, yes. Simply glad he doesn't have to talk around the lie. He fails to ask or even wonder how he knew about that. It's very odd, ancient. But it allows us to travel from place to one place to another within seconds. Just within the different realms. Interesting. How does this work exactly? I'm not sure, actually. I never really cared. Oh. But I know someone who can tell you all about it, if I can introduce you. Someone like the inn owner, perhaps? Yeah, totally. Yeah. At any rate, shall we? He points to the decrepit columns, or more specifically, the circle of mushrooms around it. You hardly contain your excitement now. No matter how tempted you were to enter such a circle in the past, you know better than to risk sinking into the realm alone. But with a guide, it's not a chance you would possibly let pass you by. Well, it should, but he's harmless. Are you ready? When you nod, he smiles, his eyes gleaming in the way that decidedly is not human. Good. Close your eyes. You do, and then you feel your surroundings shift. There we are. There's the inn. A blink, and you find yourself somewhere else, in what looks like a courtyard, surrounded by a sweet-smelling forge. It's the same scent the man carries on himself, seated and inviting. By the way, I don't think I ever asked you for your name. The man laughs, soft and tingling, like wind chimes. He ignores the dog's warning yips and answers. You may call me Bryfe. Bryfe. When you mouth it, your tongue starts to feel heavy, as though it was just a name you uttered, but something more. Just don't wear out, Lan. And don't tell the others. Okay, sure. Wait, how do you know my... Oh, look here, a fruit. Are you hungry? What the... Oh, I love it. We're, the, CG changed a little bit. Before you can answer, he pops a morsel into your mouth. The syrupy sweetness that spreads over your tongue makes you swallow reflectively. When the flesh-like pulp reaches your stomach, you sense something in you changing, as though your very essence was now tightly bonded and restrained. His yanderiness is fapping. At once, a warning and memory of the free golden rolls rush through your head, but they're gone before you focus on them, replaced by a pleasant sensation of happiness and ease. Tasty, right? Have some more. Bryve serves you the fruit, bit by bit, until it's gone. As you gaze into his gleaming eyes, you can't find it in yourself to refuse. When you swallow the last mouthful, Bryve already elevated mood turns beaming. Despite it being you who just fed, he looks perfectly excited himself. You're going to love it here, I promise. I'll bring you all your favorite gadgets and a lot of material for you to study. Huh? You hear what he's saying? But the meaning doesn't really sink in. Your mind feels hazy, like it does after too many drinks. What did you... Your humans are delicate. How cute. He knew what he was doing. Wiping his scare, wrapping his arm around your shoulders as you sway. Brive gazes at you with an expression that looks both dangerous and adoring. Don't worry about it. It'll pass. Now, do you still want to see the inn? I wasn't lying, you know. I couldn't if I tried. What? The inn? Then again, there are more interesting things to see first, like my palace. With snap of his fingers, you feel a scenery change once more. This time, however, in addition to the curiosity, there's a faint hint of anxiety. As if sensing it, Brive holds you closer, his arms become at once an anchor in a cage. Don't be scared, dear. It'll be all very exciting, I assure you. What did you get yourself into, huh? 3 months later. The bad end gets us 3 months later. Once you had settled into the Fae realm, Bob. Oh. So, we never called him Bob. So, is this like if we go with him in the fairy realm during that route? Bob Brive offers to take you back home, but you probably refused. Your curiosity has been nowhere near close to being sated. Also the fact that I'm pretty sure he was not gonna let us go back. The same seems to be true for the king. I mean, he did feed us, so he wouldn't be able to leave, right? The same seems to be true for the king, who, in the most unkindly way possible, sinks his possibilities to support the many cross-species difference between you and Similarities. The subjects are more than pleased with your experiments. Your presence keeps him anchored to his palace. They're not the only one who's pleased. The comfortable silence as you share a chamber, interrupted by the bubbling of a heated flask. What is this, letting us experiment? This is not a bad end. Your messy corners of the room contrast sharply with the spick and span tightness of his, save for the Bibles and random jewels as he has strewed over the floor and very other flat surfaces. His long desk, however, has been almost entirely used by you and turned into your personal research station with a myriad of glass containers, scattered papers, and unknown stains marring the wood. Though at times you still miss your old laboratory, you quickly get used to the new one, with its strange but useful features and appliances that you've never seen before. Overall, it's detailed like a microwave. Overall, the details doesn't matter, as the benefits of having any laboratory at all far outweigh having none. What's more important, however, is the willing test subject. And there he is. Is it Brive? Come in. You turn your body towards the door, all the while keeping your eyes on the veil, swimming on the burners. Grab. You take one of them in your hands, and bespelled glass is almost ice cold, despite the steaming liquid inside, and stir it vigorously, watching the flower petals coagulate in the red, gelatinous substance. There he is. He's just like, why in? I'm gonna be your test subject. Brive enters through the threshold with the same happy grin he greets you with every morning and afternoon, and every time he sees you. Really, it's endearing to the point of a distraction, and that's even before he starts to chat at you. You know that there's really a nice part of the forest we should go. What's that delightful smell? Since when do you knock? Bright eyes Nyril. Not at you, however, but at the veil you're holding. Since when do you pay attention to what's going on around you when you work? His comment is more of a pout than a abolishment, though he has long since gone used to being ignored. That doesn't mean he's ever going to take it lying down. Well, not usually. Do you? Don't worry about that. Come here. Still pouting, he does not. It does as you ask, pausing close enough for you to shoulders to touch. What now? Drink. Deliberately ignoring your outstretched hand, Brive holds his arms glued to his sides and opens his mouth instead. Ah, very well. You turn to grip his chin between your fingers, not missing the way his cheeks flush from the touch. After opening the veil with the unceremoniously pop of the cork, you pour the liquid down his throat, slow enough for him not to choke. Though you don't really need to worry about that with how eager he swallows, laying out in exaggerated awe. Despite trying to keep it clean, a stray drop drips from the edge of his lips, prompting you to swipe at him with the pad of your thumb. Almost there. With what? What were you actually feeding him? You pause your fingers in his mouth to keep it parted, glancing upwards when, instead of another the sound that escapes Bryce is a moan. Makes me happy. Oh. Whatever expression you're making causes Bryce to twitch. His head jerks back, as if on instinct. No. Not letting him escape, you make your hold on him firmer, forcing him down the remaining drops. Good job. There he is, his nervous laughter. That doesn't bode well. Is it working already? That was fast, if so. Pulling him by the chin so that you can observe him from up close, you watch his pupils dilate, sullying nearly all the purple of his irises. Tell me, were you feeling any different? Or tell me, you're feeling any different? Define different. Quickly recalling the possible side effects of the potion, he settled on the most obvious one. Hot? Rive tries to answer, but the only sound that escapes him is a groan. Oh, I definitely think he feels hot. Oh, is that a yes? Oh, it's definitely a yes. Seeing the empty veil on the desk, you free your other hand to wipe it around his waist. Pressing against his back, you feel his pulse speed up. You definitely feel warm to the touch. And your skin is definitely clampy. Brive laughs again, but you feel you're distracted from his antics by the faint sheen of the sweat that begins to build up on his brow. You don't seem surprised. No, he's probably seen us do a lot of stuff. He doesn't answer, though his eyes flicker towards the wall, as if trying to avoid the accusation. And you're not asking me why I fed you? Squeezing Brive's cheeks in adornment, you prompt him to reply. No, I'm not. Do you not want to know, or did you already figure out when you brought me the flower to study? I was just curious. Oh, he totally knew. Though you know the Fae can't lie, his answer is decisively ambiguous. I mean, can't lie, but could probably be very vague. About the same thing you were, I reckon. I want to see if the flower would do anything if ingested. At your admission, Brive runs his tongue over his lips, chasing the lingering taste. It's sweet. I added honey. The extra ingredient diluted the potion somewhat, but that was a small price to pay for the vomit-free carpet. It's like vomit-free hot honey. Oh ha! The last potion you had me try was just too bitter. It was hard to stomach. You know, I was there. You also made the detailed notes of the incident. Once you stopped rubbing his stomach for him, the poor thing, you never would have expected the Fae to be this fragile. Well, if you never ate it or allergic to it, then yeah. They love gold, but iron gives them terrible rashes. They're like sweets, but anything bitter makes them whittle on the floor. Surely even toddlers are easier to rear. Wells, how strange aftertaste. No stomach ache? Nope. He has other things in mind. You pluck your journal off your desk, quill in hand. Any headaches? Throbbing? Other itches? Oh, definitely. He lists off the usual questions, placing an X by each not accessible, not applicable, applies the X on each that are not alignment. They no go as you go. No itches, but he shifts weight from foot to nerve. Bryce wiggles uncomfortably, eyes darting away from yours to stare at the floor. But what? I need answers. I can't proceed with the adjustments if you don't cooperate. When he stubbornly holds his tongue, you motion for him to sit on the bench in the room, then start to scribble your own conclusions. The stretched skin is flushed, but doesn't experience a rash. His breathing is labored, his pulse elevated, pupils dilate, his body, why do you want to put two together? Feels tingly. Tingly where? Here? You poke his chest, and there a moan wrenches itself out of his throat. Oh, definitely no. No, further down. Yeah. Further down. Yeah. You flicker past his waist, then back up to his cheeky grin. It's a... Yeah. It makes him happy to see you. Yes, I know. I mean, oh really? He knew the entire time. I could see... Oh, I could have spent the time researching something else. But you said that nothing beats the hands on the spirits. I did say that, yes. Well, then here's your hands on the spirits. First of its kind, assure you. Then that gets your attention. Interesting, so you're saying no other fae before you fell victim to such ploys? No, that I would know. It's not something that happens outside the bedroom. But it does happen, huh? Yeah. So I heard. You're such a fraud. Why, thank you. Pressing the back of her hand against his neck to test his body response, you quickly jolt down his increased sensitivity. Just a quick touch. Quiet. Twirling the quill between your fingers, you lean in to observe the way his sweat beads into droplets, then runs down his face, past his chin, pulling at his neck and collarbones. He's just still happy to see us, and we're just making dessert. We're just still using him as a test subject. That's not any very hands-on now, is it? Everything in due time. He wants a different type of hands-on YN. I think I'm at almost due time. Are you sure curious? Let me write that down. Wait. How about instead you experiment with me? My body, after all, is at your disposal. It's just like still writing down the what he's experiencing. Why in here is definitely Um, neurodivergent. Definitely a little bit neurodivergent. Bref knows you will too well. How you enjoy exploring new things. How you seem more fond of your little test subject lately. I'll do anything you want. You could do everything you want to me. ... You can't tell me you're not in any way tempted. I can, contrary to you. I can lie. Oh, I am. Even as you say that, your fingers spread themselves through the soft locks before giving him a playful wink. You reward him with a wonton, with a deceitful, a not playful moan, louder and more desperate than the prior. His eyes widened with clear pleasure, mouth open on their moan. Or just faking it. Ah, yes. Bribe, behave. You're awfully demanding for a test subject. Eager. Bribe carets with a grin. A perfect subject, no? Where else will you find someone so eager as good? You good next? You tell me you're obedient. Well, he's obedient to us. Oh, but I can be so good for you. Just, please, please. Brave. What? What? Brave lifts a trembling hand over his mouth. Seems like the effects is full swing. Seems like he could hardly control himself. What is it? I don't know, unless you tell me. Please. Please what? Why doesn't get it? It hurts so much. Yanking his robe, Bride tries to rip the silk apart when... Albert comes to the rescue. My liege, I'm here to save you. I knew the awful human would... Oh, indeed. Albert, the mood killer. You can only guess what Albert expected to see when he barged in, but his master, red-faced and sprawled underneath you, would probably not it. Or if it was, the circumstances were entirely different. Bad time? Yeah, bad time. Albert. Yes, my liege? I meant to say yes, my liege. I will see myself out. Please do. Okay, Albert. And the corgi makes his hurried exit. Bride clears his throat. His movements are smooth. His former agony gone. Mood killer. Well, where were we? A bisection. Definitely bisection. What fraud. All your notes are going to be going to trash. Bride's point of view. Despite Albert's nagging, Bride, positive to his plan, will succeed. After all, who can resist the human counterpart of gratitude? Should that fail, there's always bribery and pity, and even if none of those work either, Bride will play on Wayne's natural curiosity. After all, he didn't spend the last few months deserving Wayne. Well, she deserved him for nothing. It's like, no, it's his entire plan. Several ideas floated through his mind. Coercion, hypnosis, kidnapping. But he chased all of them off right away. Except for the kidnapping. Even if he's a creature capable of that and more, a part of him, the part that he himself was not aware of before meeting Ryan, demands him to reconsider. Ideally, he gave Ryan time to fall for him naturally, on her own territory. Alas, he's nervous, too nervous to leave it all to something as flimsy as a chance. Speaking of it seems Brive has lost Wyan a bit, though non-truths were not really particularly convincing, but surely if he doubles down on them. As I was saying, a patient would be kept under careful supervision, should he. At least his condition worsen. Correct. Appealing to the logical sense, it seems to work, though it's hard to tell what exactly Wyan is thinking behind those glasses. Nevertheless, this is opportunity Brive views to squander. Then how about killing two birds with one stone? If you come with me to the inn... Yeah, totally inn. The inn is in his own world, or rather the dining hall at his palace. Oh, there was never actually inn. I'll repay you with a meal. A feast, perhaps even a ball. It's like, to show that you're gonna marry us. You make sure I'm not passed out in a ditch somewhere. Who knows? How does that sound? It should sound tempting. After all, Brive made sure to time this rescue operation just before mealtime to follow the advice that the way to a human's heart is through their stomach. It's the way to a man's heart is through their stomach. He's counting on that being true. Sounds good, I guess. Despite the hesitation, Brive knows an opening when he sees one. Wasting no time, he hurries Wyan out of the cave, unwilling to give her a chance to second-guess herself. Tasting the heady sweetness of victory makes Brive sloppy, causing him to stumble and embarrass himself in front of Wyan. Luckily, the rest of the journey passes without mishaps, and soon they reach the crumbling pavilion that disguises one of the many portals to the Fae realm. Normally, the vapor emanating from the mushrooms would deter any trespassers, but Brive prepared for that as well, temporarily lifting the glamour off this place, allowing Wyan to enter and witness it in its entirety. Wyan stares intently at the scenery, analyzing the stone columns, the mushrooms, and the obvious lack of buildings in sight. Before she can point out, Wife calculates the distance to actual inn he encountered around these parts, so that's what he says next doesn't come out as a lie. The inn really is nearby, assuming that the 2-hour walk is considered little, and 2-room tavern can be considered an inn. Totally could be considered an inn. Damn. Well, we just need to, yes? There's this, transportation device? Transportation device, yes. What a perfect way to describe the portal. Truly, his beloved is the smartest in both realms. No other human or fae can compare. It's very old, ancient, even, but it allows us to travel from one place to another within seconds. No regard, as he has for his own kind, his culture and inventions, Lion's interest is then awakened a sense of pride in him. At least being born as a fae has amounted to something. Interesting. How does this work exactly? Darn it. Now Brive regrets all the naps he took when Albert was tutoring him during his youth. He could have paid attention to some of the lectures. At least then he would have won Wyan over with his intellect. Alas, he still has his body. I'm not sure, actually. I never really cared. Oh. No. The change of disappointment. His heart can't stand it. But I know someone who can tell us all about it. I'll introduce you to Albert, the palace inventors, and magician, magicians would know a thing or two about the portal. They could tell Brive all about it, so that he could tell Wyan what could plan, portal even. Sharing knowledge is a great way to foster a bond, at least according to Albert. Someone like the inn owner, perhaps? An awkward laugh breaks out of Brive's chest. Truly, Wyan's proximity alone is a sure way to render him a fool. It wasn't as obvious during their meetings in the past, if only because he was too embarrassed to actually speak. Saving himself from the further humiliation, Brive keeps his mouth shut and simply gestures to Wyan to follow him into the circle. Fortunate for him, she does so willing. The second Brive sets foot in his dimension, he feels his weakened body brim with immense power that restores what the human world had strained from him during his absence, short as it was. I wonder what happened if it was the other route, where he's been there for like 3 months. With the revival of his full brilliance, elevation follows. A deliberating thrill he has little control over. Seeing Wyan in his domain is a fever dream come true. For a moment, he doesn't know what he'll do with himself. After making sure the cross-dimensional travel journey left Wyan none of worse for wear, aside from expected dizziness and lethargy, Brive reaches for the first edible thing he could find, a wild fruit, sweet enough to make even his teeth rot. So he could keep us. His hands shake as he peels the pink skin off the yellow flesh, and devouring to make his movements faster, more precise. It's not perfect. It's not part of his plan. There should have been a feast, but I can't wait anymore. I really can't. By the way, I don't think I ever asked for your name. My liege. Alright, Albert was there the whole time. Brive had completely forgotten, taken as he was with Wyan. I implore you not to disclose your true name. Bah, Brive hasn't paid his aid any mind before. He's not about to start now. You may call me Brive. Brive. At the sound of his name coming out of her mouth, a wave of pleasure erupts in Brive's chest, sprawling all over his body. Who knew a leash could have been even feel this good, this anchoring? There's no act more intimate for a fae than sharing one's name with another. At least Brive raw and vulnerable, but was love, if not a weakness? Besides, when was he not weak in the presence of his beloved? He was long since believed that his heart must have been stolen from the very start. Just don't wear it out, Wyan. To think he has enough wits about him to warn Wyan. Truly, Albert's better be proud. No, he's not proud. He just told the name, told us your name, even though he told us not to. And don't tell others. Sure. Wait, how do you know my... Oops, stupid dumb mouth. But too early for Brive to admit just how intimately he knows her. Look here, a fruit. Aren't you hungry? Give. Brive pops a piece of the peeled fruit right into Wyan's parted mouth. It's small enough to be swallowed without chewing, clean enough to trick the palate into doing just that. Brive watches Wyan's throat move, unaware that he's holding his breath. There, it's done. I can't leave. Tasty, right? I have some more. It's not needed, as even if the smallest morsel, once swallowed, will tie the moral to these lands, still Brive can hardly help himself. He has to make sure Wyan is fully bounded. She is, and Blythe senses the exact moment when something in her changes forever. She has to understand it too, at least at some level, seeing as her expression shifts as the realization sleeps in. What did you? You humans are delicate, so cute. You stay with me forever. We get to stay with him forever. When Wyan sways, Blythe wraps his arms around Wyan in an effort to keep her upright. Don't worry about it, it'll pass. Now that Wyan belongs to his realm, belongs to him, Blythe, her body will slowly adapt to the new environment. For now, Blythe is more than happy to support her as she falls limply into his arms. Now, do you still want to see the end? I wasn't lying, you know. I couldn't if I tried. Oh, you did. What? The inn? He wasn't lying. He intends to take her to inn at some point. There are so many places he wants her to visit. Then again, there's more interesting things to see, like my palace. With a snap of his fingers, Blythe teleports them to his home. Their home, starting now. Don't be scared, dear. I'll be... It'll be all very exciting, I'm sure you. 3 months later. Blythe couldn't hardly hide the skip in his stride as he traversed the hallway that leads to the shared chamber of Wyan. The 3 months had gone by, and they were already sleeping in the room together like a married couple. Oh, yeah, we're basically married, right? Given it did take a lot begging on his part. Oh well, Wyan agreed, and that's all that matters. Once he approaches the door, he just barely remembers not to yank at the knob in his haste to see Wyan. He knocks. Last time he didn't, he startled Wyan into dropping one of her spearmints, earning her an error for a good 3 days. Remembering the incident causes a brief shudder, the uncomfortable feeling only passing when he hears his beloved's voice. Come in. Before the door is even open, Blythe barrels it through, happiness raying off his way in him waves. Why, you know, there's a really nice part of the forest we should go. He pauses abruptly, forcing a moan at the potent scent of that seemingly floods the room, pushing itself into every nook and cranny, slipping into the fabric and crease of the stone. Yep, he already knew. Why naturally brewed it. The vapor alone is making Blythe's skin crawl in the best way. He has to try very hard to keep it from showing his face. What's that delightful smell? His plates full, despite knowing very well the main ingredient. He was the one who delivered it to Wyan for his experimentation, after all. Since when do you knock? Since the last experiment, Blythe's proud, though he zeroes in on the concoction. Wyan is halting, unable to contain his excitement. The potion seems about ready to be used, and he too is about ready to meet the same fate. Like, he's just willing. Since when do you pay attention to what you're doing, what's going on around you when you work? Touché. Don't you worry about that. Wyan waves him off. No, not off. Closer. It seems Blythe is not the only one eager to see her. Come here. Blythe is familiar with the usual song and dance. After Wyan ushers him over, there's something to test. The fae takes the opportunity to be as close as possible to Wyan, shoulders touching. He worked hard these last few months to graduate from curiosity to a test subject. To technically married but not married. What now? The petals are more than familiar as various shoulders and maids within the palace had tried to seduce others, including himself, with their properties. Of course, that's considered poisoning their king, so their wives would be shifting. R.E.B. drink. Usually of pleasure, but Rive has been impatient lately, and glutted to the point that he had to come up with another ploy just to get a shiver of Wine's attention. Of course, that's why he gave us the flower. And so, instead of taking the veil off her hands, he tilts his head towards her and opens his mouth. Ah, even those darn flesh-eating plants got to be hand-fed by Wyan. Can't he? Why can't he? Right? The anticipation is too long until it's not. The moment Wyan's fingers catch his chin, Bryce briefly forgets how to breathe and almost how to swallow, as the nozzle of the veil tilts into his mouth to be poured into to pour in the liquid. It tastes like it smells, thick and honey sweet, with undertone of herbs. It sticks to his palate, pulling in the back of his throat like saliva, momentary filling his mouth. But the brief discomfort is worth it, seeing as Wyan concentrates on him, and him only, wiping it as a stray droplet with care. Almost there. As if to reward Bryce, Wyan's voice, usually so strict and matter-of-factly, comes off as gentle and almost seductive purr. Or maybe he's looking too deeply into this. It wouldn't be the first time, though. It's impossible for him to remain term subject when Wyan's concerned. Before Brief can even get to attempt to calm himself down, Wyan pushes a finger into his mouth. The physical touch, critical as it was for her, is unbearably arousing to Brief. Of course it is. Unable to hold back a moan, he tries at least to put some distance between them, but his jaw is caught and held in place. No. The command sends a shiver down Bryce's spine. Wyan's stern voice stirs him up more than the potion did, pulling him entirely in Wyan's hand. In her mercy. After finishing his meal, like a good fae that he is, Bryce regard with praise that only leaves him wanting more. Good job. And how could Bryce not melt into the puddle with his? Wyan looked so pleased. He would give her anything she wished if it meant she'd look at him that way forever. We will. Is it working already? That was fast, if so. His natural reaction to Wyan are mistaken as something caused by all the better. Before Bryce could come up with an answer, Wyan enters the observing mode. The Bryce torment. This distance doesn't seem to matter to her all in the name of research, no matter how uncomfortable or physically bothered the subject is, and the subject is very, very bothered. Tell me, are you feeling any different? Define different. Hot? Rife almost laughs, but the air that escapes him is heavy. His body always gets hot when he's under Wyan's scrutiny like this. You don't seem surprised. In his Rife missed a part of the conversation, returned to it only when the touch of Wyan's fingers drew him back to the present. Wyan's expression is expected, nose wrinkled. Oh, and has he found out already? The pinched pain in his cheeks say yes. No, I'm not. Do you not want to know, or did you already figure it out when you brought me the flower to study? Oh, he knew. I was just curious. Curious to learn if it was as potent as he heard. About about the same thing as you were, I reckon. I wanted to see if the flower could do anything, if ingested. Oh, Brive couldn't help himself from licking his lips. From what he heard, the taste was supposed to be unpleasant. That's why it's wise to do the potion with wine. He had never tasted it before, though he did come uncomfortably close to it on several occasions, back when he was a simple heir. Now he's just doing willing with one person. If anyone else tried to feed him to him, he would do what he did before and let heads roll. Anyone other than Wyan, that is. Ah, he likes us. He loves us. It's sweet. Like added honey. Wyan sighs, but the plain reproach to the words is sweetened with fondness, filling Brive with another kind of warmth. Haha. Being reminded of this, of his carpet-destroying incident is hardly romantic, but if it serves to inspire Wyan's sympathy, then so be it. The last potion you had me try was just too bitter. It was hard to stomach. I know it was there. I was there. Not only was she there, but she also nursed Brive back to health, and if exaggerated the length and severity of his illness, well, he's a fae, not an angel. What else? How strange aftertaste. No stomachache? Oh, there's probably an aftertaste. Nope. It's very slowly starting to work, loosening Brive's limbs like a unpleasant massage. Any headache? Throbbing? Other aches? Brive watches Wyan scribble in her notebook. The sharp, even sweeps of her hand are neatly hypnotizing, making Brive crave to churn his touch somewhere other than the coarse pages. No H's, but actually actually has an effect on him. But what drives him more widely is the same thing Wyan does. Flower than some flower. Oh, it's all the time though. But what? I need the answers. I can't proceed with the adjustments if you don't cooperate. Brive needed things too, just not answers. Yeah. Taking pity on him, Wyan motions to bench. Wyan doesn't join him when he sits down, distracted as she is with her notes. The subject's skin is flushed, but doesn't experience a rash. His breathing is labored, his pulse elevated, pupils dilated, his body feeling tingly. Come on, Wyan, get it. To say the least. Tingly where? Here? It's like, yeah, no. Wyan pokes his chest, leaving enough to set the pith Brive's stomach ablaze, and not only that. No, fur down. Fur down? One look in the unfortunate direction is all it takes for Wyan to make a diagnosis. It's, yeah. I'm not gonna say it because I cannot pronounce it. Yes, I know. Darn fate, honesty. I mean, oh, really? Brive bites his tongue at the slip-up, but it's too late. Wyan sent him a glare. So distinct, he could feel it through her thick glasses. I could have spent the time researching something else. But he said that nothing beats the hands-on experience. I did say that, yes. Well then, here's your hands-on experience. First of its kind, I assure you. He knew he should have worn something more revealing this morning instead of matching Wyan's outfit. Hopefully his smolder is entrancing enough, and it's not, well, he'll appeal to Wyan's logic. But I like him matching with us. Interesting. So you're saying no our fae has, before you fell to such poise? Not, that I would know. It's not something that happens outside of the bedroom. What's But it does happen, huh? Yeah, yes, that's what I heard. You're such a fraud. Best compliment a fae could receive. Why, thank you. Ah! The merest flush of Lion's fingers is like a bucket of ice pouring over Bryce's overheating skin. It lasts just a moment, leaving Bryce startled and unsatisfied. Just a quick touch. Quite. At first, Bryce obliges. It only because he wants to be good for Lion, especially during her civilization mode. But the longer he's being observed, like a leaf under a magnifying glass, the more dreamy he gets. That's not very hands-on now, is it? Everything is in due time. I think I'm at almost due time. Are you sure? Curious. Let me write that down. Wait. No more notes. No more observing. Brave wants touches, and he wants them now. It's like, yes, he wants it. I just want to give him a hug. How about instead you experiment with me? After all, it's at your... my body's, after all, is at your disposal. Brave knows how much Lion enjoys the free reign of him, especially since he's not fragile. Save for that one throw-up incident after all, but still... I'll do anything you want. You could do anything you want to me. Got her. The split-second shifts in Lion's expression is enough to be of a giveaway. You could tell me you're not in any way tempted. I can, contrary to you, I can lie. And yet, her fingers find themselves in Bryce's hair, teasing him with light tugs and brushes. Does he not expect, however, is a spark of that shoots down his spine, all the way to his scalp. The moan is nowhere near as frigid. He almost startles himself through his shouts. Yes. You're awfully demanding for a tough subject. Eager, a perfect subject, no. What else? Will you find someone else as eager as good? Nope. He just wants us. He's gonna keep us anyway. You good? Next, you tell me you're obedient. According to Albert, he in half the court, Brave has approved in that regard over the past 3 months. Not even once had he left a meeting prematurely, and he's late only half the time. Oh, I could be so good for you, just you. Just... things are going too slow. He needs to amp up his desperation before the experiment turns into a lecture. Please, H's. H's. The almost sadistic undertone of the question turns Brave more into the more than that darn plant, forcing him to bite into the palm to strike another of his pathetic lines. Why is it, I don't know unless you tell me. This is insane. Why continues to tease Brave like this? He's usually going to embarrass himself, making the carpet incident into one of his best moments in comparison. Please. Please what? It hurts so much. He tied his robe so much he could his muscles among other things, and now it's too tight to fit. Fit is going to be the end of him. Frantic, he tries to loosen the silk before he can spoil it when... There he is, Albert! My liege, I'm here to save you. I knew the awful human would. Oh! Darn Albert. Albert was the worst timing. It has the worst timing in the entire realm. At least he has enough brains about him to stop at the threshold before rushing in. Oh, I think he rushed in because he's on your head now. ... Albert. Bryve shouldn't give himself a pat on his back for how calm and dignified he managed to sound despite his, well, everything. Yes, my liege? ... I meant to say, yes, my liege. I'll see myself out. Please do. The door closes much gentler and slower than it had opened, giving Bryve plenty of time for a long, calming exhale. Well, where were we? His bubbling smile freezes at the unimpressed stare he received from Lion. ... Chuckling at the journal to the ground, Lion storms off in the direction of the toolbox. Vice section. Definitely vice section. Oh no, this is not what he wanted. Baden? Gooden? The the-fae-king's roommate. Well, his wife. And that was the-fae-king-is-my-roommate. If you like my content, please subscribe, like the video, help out, and comment down below. See you guys next time. And